Hello, welcome back to my channel. So we're going to talk about Jeff and Anissa in the season finale. And okay, so Anissa found out from Kyle that Jeff has an 18-year-old kid. He just found out when he got out of prison into the halfway house, and he has yet to tell Anissa about it. So Anissa's been kind of standoffish when it comes to Jeff, and she's just waiting for Jeff to come to her and tell her that he has a kid. So Anissa leaves Jeff alone at the house, and she goes to go shopping for flowers for their wedding. She says that her and Jeff had set a date for their wedding. It's 3 months from now when he gets his ankle monitor off. And so she's going wedding shopping with her friend, and Jeff, he's like, she's hiding something. I'm going to figure out what she's hiding. And he starts going through all her things, and he's like, every time I get near this dresser, she's like, why are you going over there? So he had this assumption that she was hiding something in the dresser. He starts going through the dresser, and underneath some lingerie in a drawer, Jeff found an old phone of Anissa, so he plugged it in and started going through it, and it had all these different guys' names in there, and he had no idea who any of those guys were, but there was one name he did recognize, and it was Kyle that she'd been texting. But these were old text messages. This was an old phone that he found, and then he found these pictures of her in lingerie, and she was sending these pictures to other men. And not only that, these pictures weren't no selfie. It looks like she had to have someone else take those pictures for her, because there's like a picture from behind. So I'm curious if Kyle took the photos maybe. So Jeff found the phone. He found the evidence he was looking for, and he got so upset. All this started also him going through her stuff was her being closed off, but also she changed her password on her laptop. So finally, Anissa comes back home from flowers shopping with her friend. They're talking about buying like $200-300 worth of flowers for their wedding. And so she walks in the door, and Jeff's asking her, what's going on? How are you doing? She says, nothing. Kyle and his girl are going to come over later for dinner. And so they're just chilling. And then Jeff was just sitting there like with his arms crossed, and he's like, is there something you need to tell me? And he was like, what's wrong with you? And Anissa clapped back, and she said, is there something you need to tell me? And she wasn't backing down. She said, you think you should tell me that you have a kid? And Jeff, he was stunned. His jaw dropped. And he said, who told you about this kid? And Anissa revealed Kyle told her, and it's been hard on her the past few days because she's been waiting for Jeff to come to her and tell him herself. And so Jeff, he got super mad, and it was just at the worst timing possible, because as soon as Jeff finds out, Kyle and his girl pull up to have dinner with him. So Jeff runs outside. He's yelling. He's going off. He says he's about to beat the brakes off Kyle. He said that little B told Anissa I had a kid, and I was about to tell her myself. So Anissa texts Kyle like, hey, I just told him that you told me about the kid. He's freaking out. I would probably leave if I was you. So Kyle was sitting there waiting in the car, and Jeff's going off. He's like, I don't give a F what he has. I don't care if he has a gun, a bat, whatever. And I thought it was kind of messed up, because while all this is going down and Jeff's trying to beat the brakes off Kyle, Anissa is supposed to be Kyle's friend, and she's just waiting inside, and she's like, I'm just going to let them handle it. It's between them. I don't know why Jeff's mad. He's the one with the secret. And Anissa says that her and Kyle have never done anything. They haven't even come close to kissing. And Anissa said Jeff can't accept the fact that Kyle is Anissa's friend, and that Kyle was the one that was there for her the 2 times that Jeff didn't show up. So the producers were trying to block Kyle from getting out of his car, and Jeff was like, a real mother effer will stand up and take what he deserves. So Kyle didn't like the sound of that. He jumped out of the car, pushed the producers out of the way. Producers were trying to stop him. Jeff was pushing the security guy, and Kyle was trying to go after Jeff. And the security guy even threatened Jeff that he was going to pull out his spray bottle, which I'm thinking he was talking about pepper spray. And so Jeff was like, I'm going to beat the brakes off you. And I thought this was pretty funny. Kyle said, what are you waiting on? Christmas? And then Kyle said, "Is your whooper broke?" And Jeff didn't like the sound of that, so he pushed the security man out of the way, and he came after Kyle. And, Kyle was sitting there standing on gravel, and Jeff sat there and swung on him a few times. He didn't even fight back. He just kind of went down on the gravel and just stopped. And Jeff, when he started hitting Kyle, he's like, "Is your whooper broke?" And after all that Kyle talked, he just kind of went down and didn't really fight back. But at the same time, don't ever get on a fight on gravel. I learned that lesson a long time ago when I showed up to fight this girl, and then I ended up getting jumped by 4 people. It's a whole different story for a different day. But I was on gravel, and oh man, I decided after that day I would never fight on gravel again because it's so easy to slip. And Anissa's just sitting inside the whole time, just watching it all go down from the window. And she said the neighbors are going to call the cops. But I was just thinking, like, what neighbors? And so Jeff gets all rallied up. He's pissed off. Security separates them. And Anissa's freaking out because Jeff and Kyle are both ex-cons. And Jeff ends up getting the cops called on him. He's going to end up going back to the halfway house. And Anissa says she ain't going out there. She don't have nothing to say to either one of them. Kyle gets back in his car. He's telling producers that he'll put a bullet hole right in between Jeff's eyeballs. And Jeff found like some big old piece of wood out of nowhere and starts breaking it. And producers are like, "Jeff, you gotta stop, Bubba." And he's like, "This is all a effing crock of shit." And then he runs inside Anissa's, and it's so funny because when he was going inside her front door, there's like 5 packages out there waiting for him on the porch. So then Jeff sat Anissa down. He told Anissa that phone she bought for him, as soon as he got out of the halfway house, like 3 or 4 days later, this girl contacted him and told him that he had an 18-year-old son. He said he just found out, and he was trying to figure out the right way to tell her. Because he said he felt like it wasn't good timing because he felt like their relationship didn't need any more strain on it. But the reason that Anissa has been closed off is because she knew about this secret. So then Jeff told her about finding her phone, how he found the lingerie pictures, and they were together for a year and a half at the time she was sending these lingerie pictures back in 2019. But Anissa said that it was right after the time that Jeff had just got out of prison and ditched her again. And they were talking on and off, and they weren't even officially back together at that time. And Anissa said she didn't think she was going to be able to get the wedding of her dreams, the man of her dreams. And she says that it really hurt her feelings that he went through her phone because she don't go through his phone. And a lot of times it's a person who's doing the dirt who always wants to accuse the other person of doing that. And I bet you if she goes through his phone, that relationship would be over. Because just on my channel alone, I've shown receipts from like 3 different people of Jeff talking to while he was with Anissa and trying to allege that he's not with Anissa. They're just pretty much roommates and all that. And Jeff asked Anissa, do you still plan on marrying me in 3 months? And Anissa said, "I don't know. You betrayed my trust." And Anissa told producers that he's lying about a kid, no telling what else he's lying about. And Jeff told Anissa, "Well, we're going to have to work on that, building your trust back so we can get happily married." So they showed at the end of the season finale that Jeff actually had a parole infraction and he got sent back to the halfway house. And now it makes sense because I just talked about in a video like a week ago when I was exposing more receipts between Jeff and this one girl that somebody sent me. Well, he was posting on his Facebook like a week ago, "I'm about to walk out of this halfway house to never return." And this girl who sent me the receipts messaged him and was like, "Hey, I thought you were out of the halfway house according to the show." And he said, "Oh, I'm just lying that I'm still in the halfway house even though I'm not because the show wants me to keep it hush hush." And it didn't make any sense, but now it makes sense because he was just trying to protect his NDA and not spoil it that he was back in the halfway house. And it said on the season finale that Anissa is patiently waiting for him to get out of the halfway house and get off his ankle monitor so they can get married. And we talked about how Jeff had started GoFundMe trying to raise money to get his teeth fixed. He was trying to raise $20,000 to get dentures. And he's raised $760 so far, but you can get some dentures for like $3,000 or $4,000. I think he's trying to get him some dentures and some Gucci pants and a motorcycle. And somebody photoshopped some teeth on Jeff, so that's how he would look if he got his dentures. But I'm looking forward to this new season of Life After Lockup. Honestly, I kind of was wanting to see Jeff and Anissa on the new season, but I think he kind of messed it up for himself by getting himself sent back to the halfway house. But that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts about Anissa and Jeff in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.